Hello, everyone. This is Devin Thorpe for Your Mark on the World, and we have with us this morning Ottopia Derrico, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Patch of Land, a real estate crowdfunding site. Ottopia, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Devin. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's really my pleasure. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us this morning. It's a great thing you're doing. I'm excited to have you come speak at our Social Enterprise and Crowdfunding Conference on September 26th at Snowbird here in Utah. It's going to be a great event, and you're going to be a real highlight.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited about it. I think it's fantastic that we have an opportunity to talk about the social side of crowdfunding, especially the financial crowdfunding, if you will, and not the rewards and donation based. So I'm really excited.
Well, I think that real estate is such an important part of a community and a neighborhood. I think that crowdfunding for real estate has a real important role to play in building community and in lifting a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Is that the kind of thing that you're seeing? What are you seeing in terms of how people are using crowdfunding to change their neighborhoods?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting for us at Patch of Land because we're not working with large commercial developments. We're often working with small businesses, really. These people are small businesses who rehab, and they're called fix and flip properties. And so on a very practical level, they're buying properties, they're making them better, and then they're reselling them for a profit, which is great for them. That's their business. But what's really amazing is that they're literally beautifying and renovating neighborhoods. The second deal that Patch of Land did was with a nurse out of Georgia, and she has a side business of doing these renovations. And she, in her case, actually, she ended up selling it to a veteran, to a war vet. So there was like this whole story around it, and her belief in what she was doing and being able to create affordable housing for for everyone, really. So
Yeah.
that's one story for us, but we see it every day with the work that these real estate operators are doing.
That is really a great example of how crowdfunding can be used to impact a neighborhood, because that it won't just impact the buyer who happened to be a veteran, which is a wonderful story, but now you have a neighborhood that has a quality new neighbor. You have the home that's been upgraded and cleaned up. Oftentimes, I know the fix and flip model is to take homes that have either been abandoned or have been abused by owner occupants or tenants that couldn't afford or refused to take care of them, and so they become real problems in a neighborhood. And to have investment come in and to upgrade that, and then to attract quality new people to the neighborhood, it's just so important.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Great Cleanup after the Great Recession. Because you're seeing so much of this happening, and even though there's been swaths of property bought by large groups like Blackstone, but what our operators are doing is very ground floor. It's in their own community. They're not a large corporation coming in and just buying, making a few cosmetic renovations, and then turning around and forcing people to rent, which is that model. So we're really finding the work that the people do that come to us is really fantastic work, and they really know their neighborhood. So there's a lot at stake for them as well. And to me, the social model around crowdfunding also, or crowdfinance maybe in the case of what we're doing, is that this person has a community, has a first and second circle that they know. And if you're an investor on the other side of that, you have an opportunity also to know exactly who that person is, and you might be an investor from that same community. I was just in New York last week for a conference, and I was speaking to someone, and they said, "I saw you did a property in Great Neck on Long Island." And he says, "I actually know that area really well. I used to live there." And so you start to get people having that sense of recognition and maybe giving a second thought to a place they thought they knew, or feeling comfortable enough to invest. And so, there's these great little nuances that come into play, and we see those every day with the more and more people that we meet. So it just expands this, just really the breadth of what we're doing, aside from, obviously aside from the finance, which is what the market is really interested in right now, but we really are very much interested in the social impact of what we're doing.
Well, Adapia, tell us a little bit about Patch of Land and the business model there. You've alluded to some of this already, but tell us a little bit more about how it works.
Sure. So Patch of Land is a multi-operator platform in real estate crowdfunding. So we work with several operators that come to us when they need financing for their short-term fix and flip. So we do loans on the properties that they're going to rehab up to a year, and we source those funds from the crowd. And that allows them to go and do their project. And what Patch of Land does is we do all the underwriting. So we vet the properties, we curate them, and what we actually do is we do the first line of lending. So we do what we call pre-funding to the operator, so that we're taking the security position on that property. And then we allow investors to come in, accredited investors, of course, for now. And they can invest for as little as $5,000 in the loan that returns them a monthly interest distribution and then full capital at the end of the loan. So it's basically a loan business that two small businesses who are doing rehabs, and that the loan is secured by real estate.
And what kind of interest rates are the borrowers paying?
Well, the borrowers are it actually completely depends on the market. It's really fascinating if you're not in real estate, and I wasn't initially in real estate. And so every market has different rates. So for example, in California, rates are going to be 8 to 10%, and in New York or New Jersey, they can go up to 14%. So it completely depends on the market, but that rate is also dependent upon the risk, right? It's going to be underwritten based on risk, how much money the person is putting down, because we only lend up to 60% of the after repair value, how much cash they put in, like all these risk factors that are part of a very complex system of underwriting that basically assigns a yield to the level of risk.
And then what portion of that interest that the borrowers are paying is ending up in the pockets of the lenders, the investors?
Yeah, they get almost all of it. I mean, we'll take a 1% spread. So that's, we try and pass as much on to the lender as possible. So we take a 1% spread. Having said that, on the borrower side, what we do take, and this is normal practice in this type of lending, is origination points up front. So that's where Patch of Land makes its money. And by taking some origination points up front, we are able to pass almost 100% of the yield onto the investors or lenders.
Right. And how many points do you usually charge?
We charge around 3 or 4 points.
Okay.
And we don't have a prepayment penalty, and so we have a lot of borrowers who come to us, and what's really great for them about the no prepayment is that they're also incentivized to pay it back faster, to get the work done, and then on the other side of that as well for them is that they can go do it again, because they really know their area. We work with people who are experts. This is all that, this is what they do, and so they know their area well, and so they might go turn around and come back a month later, and most of our borrowers, all except for one, have had multiple loans with us because it's such an easy process for them. And of course, for the investors or the lenders, having a track record from these people on the side over time as we build up is really, it's another risk mitigant in a way for them, because they feel like they know that person. And so we're also doing updates. So we'll send updates to the investors who've invested in that loan. So here's where your money is being put to use. And some are video walkthroughs, other are photos with short updates about, purchase contracts on the house or whatever it is. We like to have our investors feel like the money just didn't go into, a stock market or a bond where you kind of wait for the money to come at the end of it. But so we like to get them feeling like they're watching their money go to work. And we're doing more of that. It's been a little difficult with so much growth we've been experiencing, but we're going to start to do a lot more of that, and we have a lot more loans. So
yeah. So you're already seeing a rapid growth in your business.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. I mean, we had issued a press release 2 weeks ago saying we did we achieved $3 million in loans, and as of yesterday, we've done 1.6 on top of that. So we're over 4.5 million already, and it's been very rapid. It seems it's like anything, like it's like falling asleep. It starts slowly, and then all of a sudden you're asleep. And this feels like that's what's happening here. Is that it starts slowly, and then it's all of a sudden, and it's this rush. And so we're we're cognizant of the opportunity, and very grateful for the people that have been with us the whole time and helping us move forward.
Well, Adapia, why did this appeal to you? You said you weren't in real estate before. Why did you find yourself at Patch of Land?
Well, I've been advising startups for a while here in LA, and I have a background. I call it my original background from when I was a lot younger. Was in finance. I started in banking, and I worked in a hedge fund in Switzerland for a few years in the investor relations and corporate communications department. And then I left that world to do something on my own, which was strategic branding and marketing and intellectual property development. And so I went into this very complex world of building a brand and using multiple channels to do it, and audience development and understanding consumer behavior, and it ended up being, for the most part, in the entertainment industry and the arts. So I've always more been involved on the creative side of things for the past 6 years, and I met Patch of Land at a real estate crowdfunding summit in San Diego in January, because I had heard about crowdfunding. I had done campaigns on Kickstarter for clients before. They were great, really successful, and when I heard that there was this new thing where it involved investments, my ears really perked up, because that was my background, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting to me. And of course, the idea of crowdfunding a home was fascinating. I'm fascinated by consumer behavior. I'm fascinated by the way technology changes the way we operate as a society. And the idea of being able to purchase a home with other people's funds, that was my initial foray into this. To be able to purchase a home with other people's funds and live there, so kind of sharing the mortgage, I just thought that was just the coolest thing in the world. I thought, wow, that could really change things, because not very many people are able to buy a first home anymore, especially not out here in California. It's really tough. And there's this huge income divide, and so all these things drove me, or I was attracted by the concepts behind crowdfunding. And so I went to the conference and I met them, and they basically brand new. They just launched the first deal in October, and so there's a huge opportunity to take their model and their belief, and the tagline remains even after I came in on the brand side of building wealth and growing communities, is I really admired that part of the business. Jason and Brian, the two brothers who founded it in Chicago, their whole idea was to be able to contribute to devastated parts of Chicago and even Detroit. And that was the dream there, was to take technology and new legislation and be part of something that could change lives. And I was really attracted by that philosophy.
Well, there's no question. This can be a key part of changing lives and building communities. So I really appreciate the good work you're doing. Tell people now how they can learn more and engage with you online to find out how they can actually participate, either as investors or real estate professionals.
Sure. Well, the URL is patchofland.com. I'm available at Adapia@patchofland.com. My Twitter handle is @Adapia. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm pretty easy, actually. If you just Google Adapia, I come up. I have it pretty easy. But I also have started two really fun things, actually. One is a LinkedIn group called Real Estate Crowdfunding Education and Networking Group, and it's growing really quickly. And I've also started a meetup by the same name, and we had our first meetup 2 weeks ago here in Los Angeles, which was fantastic. So I'm going to start expanding that. I really want there to be an element of crowdsourcing to everything that we're doing, because I believe that the more we're all sharing information and ideas, the better this is going to be for everyone. So that's patchofland.com. I'm Adapia, and also Twitter handle for Patch of Land is the same as the company name.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate your being here and participating today, and wish you every success. And
Great.
I especially look forward to seeing you at the Social Enterprise and Crowdfunding Conference on September 26th at Snowbird.
Great. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Adapia.
Have a great day.
All righty, let's do some good.